Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gray Eagle here from Florida. And this is the prophecy report for February 28th, 2011. Now, I know a lot of you are concerned that we don't have a lot of hits on this website. You think it's a good good video website, and more than one of you have encouraged me to pay somebody to have hits come onto my web and to my videos. However, I consider that to be a violation of making a league with the people of the land, so I don't do that. Joshua got into trouble with doing that, so I don't do that. Besides that, I'm on a limited income, being retired on Social Security, and therefore I just can't afford to do that. But nevertheless, don't despair, because the Holy Spirit brings onto my videos, He draws them to my videos, those whom He wishes to have there. So don't despair about that. Now we've got a great prophecy report this week. Some surprises in here for you. I think you'll be quite surprised at some of the things I have to say today. In fact, I'm going out on a pretty long limb and maybe sawing it off and behind myself. So nevertheless, this is what I feel. Now the first one, under the heading of wars and rumors of same, right out of Matthew 24:6 and Mark 13:7, we find that NATO may invade Libya to keep the oil flowing. Now, it's very strange to me why they would do that, because Libya only produces a very, very small amount of the oil on the world market, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Now, to see this this article, read use the keywords NATO attacked Libya. That's NATO attacked Libya. Under the prophecy of John 16:2, some people think that they're doing God a service. Pardon me while I take a sup of coffee. It's morning, or well, it's not morning, but I like coffee. Probably my only vice, if indeed it is a vice. Some people call it a drug, but it nevertheless is a very tasty one. Now, under this John 16:2, we had some missionaries allegedly murdered by alleged Somali pirates. Now, what we've got here is 4 total martyrs for Jesus. Keywords for this article is friends mourn hostages. Now, the next one has to do with senior citizens in the end days. Isaiah 51:9 tells us, "Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient thou hast very heavily laid thy yoke." Now, I'm a senior myself and on Social Security, and I have not had a COLA, which means cost of living adjustment, in 2 years. This is required by law when there is inflation, but the same government that tells us how much inflation there is tells us there's no inflation. Thus, I get no cost of living adjustment, and all my family that's on Social Security with me get no cost of living adjustment. Anybody on Social Security gets nothing. Now, my question is about this: why then is gold at an all-time high of over $1,400 per ounce? Gold is an indicator of inflation. Always has been, always will be. Now, there's 2 articles here I want you to look up, and the keywords to the first one is inflation underreported. Lots of articles out there under that one. Also, in another search, use these keywords: Fed stealing seniors. This is on WorldNet Daily, so when you get it and find it on WorldNet Daily, you'll have it. Now, I've got a related video to this called The Coming Hyperinflation. If you haven't seen that already, you should see it. It's got some comments on there. In fact, one gentleman said it's already happening in California, but I got a feeling it's going to be far worse than that. It's going to get even worse than as bad as he said it was going on out there. It's going to get worse. Now, the next one, James 5:3 again. They're piling up treasures for the last days. And this one is about Muammar Gaddafi and his great pile of money. Keywords for this article: Gaddafi, hidden billions. Now, you got a lot of different ways to spell Gaddafi, so you should be able to get it. Google gives you their idea of how it's spelled, and you should be able to find it no matter what search engine you use. But a big question you might ask is, where did he get? He's a dictator and a nutbag. Matter of fact, they call him the madman. Where did he get all this pile of money? Well, as it happens, the United States it gives people piles of money on pallets, and they call it foreign aid. You remember the what was it, 20 billion or so that was on pallets, and they shipped it to Iraq, and it just poof disappeared into thin air. Remember that one? I remember it. Matter of fact, the United States gave the colonel in 1980 $376 million. Now, when adjusted to inflation for in today's dollars, that would be over $940 million. And it's probably sitting in a bank somewhere and drawing daily compounded interest. Now, the Bible calls this the wine of Babylon that makes men drunken. Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations, or great men of the earth, the kings and the chief captains and all the rest, are mad, or in other words, they're insane. Now, we have heard how Gaddafi has been called a madman, and we all know the phrase, worship the almighty dollar also. Put that in Google in quotation marks, and you'll get about 44,500 results for the phrase in Google, worship the almighty dollar. So there's no question about it. Every theologian on there says that the dollar is a false god. Now, there's biblical precedence for this too. Just like Nebuchadnezzar went insane with all of his wealth, power, and splendor for 7 years. You can find that in Daniel 4:33 and following. And so well did Jeremiah prophesy, they are mad upon their idols. This description of foreign aid is the surprise that I had for you and for my friends and subscribers. Now, the last one is Revelation 6:2, and behold, I saw a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Now, here's where I'm going out on a bit of a limb, but I'm sticking by my guns on this one. I think this prophecy is right now in the very beginning stages of fulfillment. Much has been made, in fact, about the rider/conqueror who has a bow but no arrows. Seems to me that this rider/conqueror conquers without the use of a military, hence no arrows, which seems to fit with this prophecy. It also occurs to me that this is exactly what happened in Egypt. The Egyptian government has been toppled without the use of any type of army. I'd like your opinions on that. Post your opinions on this in the commentary or in the comments. And agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. No right or wrong answers here. And I don't say negative things about anybody that posts comments. Now, if you get a little out of hand and start using curse words, I will delete them. As long as you keep the discourse civil, your posts on there will be welcome. Now, remember to trust Jesus today, because the time is indeed short now. We have all seen the pale horse rider, and we know he's the last one. Now, if what I'm seeing in Egypt is true, and my comments on Revelation 6 true, that means the white horse rider has also been released. That means they've all been released. So the time is truly short, and you may not be able to trust Jesus tomorrow. Till next week, the eagle is out.